Now our backyard actually has two hills, one on each side of the rink, and we've got this perfect spot that's about 35 feet wide by 65 feet long. The first step in laying out this rink was to use a long string and some posts in the ground, and we could mark the corners from there. We made sure that the rink was square by using Pythagorean's theorem and calculating exactly what the diagonal distance between the two corner posts would be. Once we got the layout done, then we could start installing the Nice Rink System. Now, this system is composed of brackets that get pushed into the ground. This is going to be a lot easier if the ground is warm. That way they go in. We just needed a little rubber mallet to be able to bang them into the ground, which they just took a little bit of persuasion with the colder ground. Now, with those brackets in, we go one board at a time, and we could start installing those plastic boards all the way around the rink. Now, be mindful that if you're doing rounded corners like we did, you're gonna need to start in 7.5 feet from each corner. And then you just work one board at a time all the way around the rink until you're done. With the boards up, then we could start installing the underliner lights. These are perfect. I've always wanted to do lines in the ice. However, the problem is that any color within the ice attracts the sunlight and it heats up and melts the ice. So these were a great alternative to actually putting some kind of color in the ice. We lay those lines out and stake them down with garden spikes, and we got them just where we wanted. We got the two blue lines, the red line in the middle, and the white perimeter line. One addition that we did this year was we installed post and netting at each end, and that's just to collect any overshot pucks to make sure that no windows get broken and we just don't lose as many pucks. With the lights done, now that we can move on to the liner. This is a pretty straightforward process. You just roll it out in the middle, spread it out across all of the boards, and then we used a couple of their foam bumpers to hold it in place. We saw in the forecast we had some great colder weather coming up that was going to be able to freeze the rink, so we filled the rink and waited for it to freeze. After the rink was filled, then we moved on to the bumper installation, which is just those yellow foam bumpers that slip over top of the boards. But one cool thing that we also added was the kick plates, which is a plastic panel that lines the inside of the liner. And what that does is it prevents any shovels or skates or sticks from scratching up or cutting the liner while it's in use. After a few days, we had a frozen rink and we were looking forward to a ton of fun. My son Braden is able to use this for training when he's not at the rink. He is a hockey player. He plays on a travel hockey team, so he gets a lot of use out of this rink. We've had plenty of family skate nights as well as having friends over and parties out on the ice, and it is a great time. Although this rink is a ton of fun, it does come with a little bit of maintenance. Every time we get some snowfall, you gotta make sure that you get out there with a snowblower or a shovel and clear the ice. What I do is I first go and blow the snow off the ice, then come back with a shovel and scrape everything clear, and then I resurface it with my Nice Rink resurfacer. It's kind of like a home bony or a Zamboni that can be used to spread a thin layer of water over top of the ice, quickly refreeze, and fill any skate marks or gouges in the ice. If you have any other complications with building a rink, then Nice Rink is great. They have tons of support and articles on how to fix any slush issues or resurfacing ice and just fixing areas that need attention.